quarter 2 of 2024 has come to an end, which is terrifying to me. I have no idea where the time's gone, but it's flying by. I hope you're making the most of 2024 because it's going to be 2025 before we know it. It was New Year 2 weeks ago, but clearly it wasn't. We are 6 months into the year, which means it is time to update the All My Pans I Hit This Quarter kind of series. I don't know. I did do this video for quarter 1. I will leave it linked up in the cards if you are interested in seeing that, but definitely come straight back here because I have some amazing progress to share with you guys. So this is just going to be eyeshadows that I've hit pan on, but I have hit pan on multiple other products as well. This video will have spoilers, especially towards the end. I'm going to be talking about projects that maybe I haven't updated yet, but will be updating within the next month. So you have been warned now. Though I know what you're like. You want some cheeky spoilers. I know. Oh my god, my lights. I'm so sorry. There we go. They were having a nightmare there. But just before we do jump into this video, if you have not already, like and subscribe. I'm trying to hit 5,000 subscribers by the end of the year, and I really think we can do it. We are nearly at 4.2k as I'm filming this. Who knows, maybe we've hit it when this goes live. That is terrifying to me, but also so exciting. I love bright, fun, colourful makeup, as well as project panning, get ready with me's, and I'm dabbling in a few reviews here and there as well. So if that sounds like a fun time to you, definitely stick around, help us hit that 5k, because this is such a positive place to be, and I absolutely love the little family that we've made here. Alright, let's jump into it. So the first few months of the second quarter, I said that so strangely, we didn't have many pans, but we definitely picked up within the last month. So the first shade that I'm going to talk about is from the NYX Vintage Jean Baby palette, and this is the first shade here. Can you see that pan? You should be able to see it there. This eyeshadow was in a Project Level Up series. I did start my new Project Level Up round with this palette. I had to use every single shade one time and hit one pan. Of course, it was the Inner Corner shade. It's a very, very easy shade to hit pan on. It wasn't much fuss at all. It was definitely the easiest shade in the palette that I could have hit pan on. And I hit pan on this on the 4th of April. I'll give it a bit of a swatch. Why not? I've kind of covered over the pan there. That is what that shade looks like. I do have a bit of a stain still on my hand from the video that I filmed earlier, but just ignore that. This is such a vibrant shade. It was so stunning as an inner corner, and I've just realized I don't have an inner corner on today. What is wrong with me? Here we go. I've just popped that on my inner corners. That is what it looks like. I've uncovered this pan a little bit more now. It was a little bit covered over, so I'm hoping that you're going to be able to see this shiny, shiny pan now. I think this palette is gorgeous. It's like a mini Beauty Bay Book of Magic. It is so good quality. I did do a first impressions with this when it first released. I have loved it ever since. I got it for my birthday last year, and it is just stunning. It's me and a color story, blues and neutrals. I had such a good time playing with this palette, getting some use out of it, dusting it off. My eyeshadow collection sadly does get very, very neglected sometimes, just because I do so many different project pans that it's hard to keep track of everything. But the fact that this now has a pan on it and it has some dips on it as well makes me very, very happy. And I'm sure this will be used very, very soon. I love this palette so much, so I do not want it to get neglected too much. Next is an eyeshadow that should be a little bit easier to see. This is the shade Axes from the Anastasia Beverly Hills Subculture palette. I'll hold it like this. That's easier to see. There we go. This is a very, very dark blue. It kind of goes with my eyes today. I loved this shade. I think this was a hand-chosen shade in my Pan Those Eyeshadows project pan, and I've wanted to hit pan in this shade for quite a long time. You can see there it's a baby pan. It is a baby pan, but it is pan nonetheless. I'm counting it. I use this as a liner a lot, just with neutral looks, and it went so beautifully. I love taupe and blues so much. That is like my go-to color story for like neutral everyday days. A tiny pop of blue, tiny pop of blue, not too in your face. It is absolutely stunning and beautiful. And this palette needs to be more use by me, because we now have 2 pans in this palette. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see, there is the tiniest pan on cube as well. So 2 baby pans. We need more. We need more. I'm scared of hitting pan on this palette though, just because it's discontinued and I know I can't buy it again. Oh my god, we've got a maxi hair. We've got a maxi hair in this palette. Maxi approves. It is just here. How cute. So definitely bully me to use this palette a lot more. Maybe it'll be a No Pan Left Behind palette. Maybe it'll be a Project Level Up palette. I'm not too sure yet, but this has inspired me to reach for this palette a hell of a lot more. I hit pan on this on the 19th of April, so let's move on. Oh my god, I didn't swatch. I didn't swatch. I always forget. There we go. That is what that shade looks like. It kind of matches my dress today. How cute, how grungy, how beautiful. Okay, now let's move on. So next I have some single eyeshadows, and first is this shade. This is the shade Venus from the Pastel Roses. And I've said before, I'm not too big on these super warm toned shades. That is what that looks like. Hopefully you can see the bright orange shift in this shade. It is stunning. It is so beautiful. And this was a random shade that was rolled in to my Pan Those eyeshadows. And of course, I did hit pan. This went so beautifully with my Pan That palette, which is my Modern Renaissance. I have very vibrant, bright, warm tones left. So of course, this went hand in hand with that. It was part of a perfect work look as well. I really did enjoy it. I was very scared when it was first rolled in, but I actually took it in my stride and I was really happy when I hit pan on this, and I was actually a little bit sad to let it go at the end because it is so beautiful. Again, this goes with my dress as well. This whole color story is kind of what I'm rocking today with my clothes. Look at that. I hit pan on this on the 18th of May, so there was a massive jump there, nearly a month. One day under a month of a jump. I just didn't have any eyeshadow pans in the majority of May, and I'm not too sure why. I don't know, but we were really struggling there for a little bit, and I was panicking quite a lot because no matter what I did, I just was not hitting pan. But don't worry, I did make up for it this month because this month has been crazy. Just wait until I get into it. But I'm very excited to have a pan on this. It was definitely a challenge, but I'm so glad that I accepted that challenge and hit pan. So next is another Pastel Roses single eyeshadow, and this, again, goes with my dress today. We're having a theme. This is Sunlight from the Pastel Roses, and this was part of my old Pan That palette. That is what that shade looks like there. You can see it's a beautiful goldy greeny kind of shade. So stunning. Now, I did roll in a singles palette for my Pan That palette, and this was in it. However, I was just getting so overwhelmed with different eyeshadows that I decided to just get rid of that single palette and primarily focus on my Modern Renaissance. And since I've done that, I've had amazing progress on Modern Renaissance, so definitely stick around. The 1st of June is when my Pan That palette update will be going live. You do not want to miss it, so definitely subscribe because you don't want to miss that, because it's a good one. I'm just gonna say that it's a good one. I filmed it like a week ago because it was so good. So this was an Pan That palette shade. I really loved it. This was the shade that made me not want to swap out my Pan That palette because I was having so much fun with this eyeshadow. I hit pan on this on the 21st of May, so a few days after the last one, and I just loved it for summer. Just a really nice light matte in the crease. This on the lid. I mean, I'm not an everyday light makeup girl, but that look was stunning. And I need to get a lot more use out of this because I adore it so much. The Pastel Roses, you guys know, is one of my favorite brands. I do have a 20% off code with them. It is Caitlin20. They are my pride and joy in my collection. They are just beautiful. I have done a full The Pastel Roses deep dive. If you are interested in that, I will link it up in the cards. But if you are kind of struggling with their website, there is a lot of things on there. It's really overwhelming, but don't worry, I've got you covered. So next I have a shade from this bad boy. This is my Pan That palette in order, and this update would have gone live yesterday as you're seeing this. I did film it earlier today. So the shade we're going to talk about is number 10. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. This shade up here, this bronzy shade, this I hit pan on the 24th of May. I had to swerve there a little bit. But this was the last neutral shade in this palette. Hallelujah, praise Jesus. And that is what that shade looks like there. We're getting quite far down my arm. I'll probably swatch the next one up here. But this was a really nice, just everyday shade. It was really perfect for kind of stormier, horrible, more darker weather that we're having in England. Like, we had our 3-day summer and now it's back to rain. But it was really nice for just an everyday, kind of more dark, smoky eye look. I am really happy now that I've got through all of these neutral shades. You can see there was a lot of neutrals. Finally, we have got to these more colourful shades. I can breathe a sigh of relief, finally, but this was a really nice last hurrah for those shades. They're really easy to hit pan on. This palette I still really, really love. I love pan that palette in order because this looks very scary, but just doing it in order is a really, really nice way of just working on one eyeshadow. It's less overwhelming than just having a full pan that palette, and this is so satisfying. This row here, these 2 rows, chef's kiss. I absolutely love them. Hopefully I can get a lot more progress in the next 6 months, but you will be seeing this palette quite a lot in the rest of this video. So we've got a pretty big jump again now to the 19th of June, and this is Hot Fudge from J Star. Now I have depotted all shades from J Star just because I don't want to see that branding. I don't want to see that name. We all know how it is. And this is what that shade looks like there. We've got a very, like, it's almost like I knew that these were the shades. Like, I did not, spoiler alert, but oh my god, look at this. This is amazing. So this was a randomized shade in my Pan Those Eyeshadows, and I use this primarily as a brow shade, just because I've kind of been overwhelmed with super, super warm eyeshadow recently, and putting a really cool shade on the outer corner was just like kind of mismatchy. So I thought, you know what, in the brows, it was slightly cool. My hair is more warm tone, I think, but this was slightly cool for my brows, but I only had to use it a few times to hit pan. You can see it's pretty thin in this pan, just because I have actually hit pan on this before, like years ago, and then it smashed, so I had to repress it again. But I can definitely see myself finishing this eyeshadow sometime. I find it really, really easy to reach for. It's a really, really nice shade. You guys know I love my cool tone eyeshadows. Cool tone taupes are my absolute favorite things to wear. So if you told me that I had to finish this eyeshadow, I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be scared at all. It is one of those that I just love. I love these tones so much. I think it goes with my eyes so well. But yeah, this was another Pan Those Eyeshadow shade, hit pan on the 19th of June, and also hit pan on the 19th of June. I think this is my first big spoiler. This is my Anastasia Denona Mini Trio Chrome palette, and this is my Project Level Up palette. And as you can see here, we have finally hit pan on this shade, Stratus. Just like Axis, I have been using this as a liner shade a lot of the time, but I've also been using it as an outer corner deepening shade as well. You guys may know I love my blue eyeshadow so much, and this was no exception. This was a really, really nice shade. Now, I'm not a big fan of this palette in general, just because I find the mattes very dry. They don't seem to blend too well, but with this shade, as I said before, I mostly used it as a wing, so I wasn't really blending it anyway. And that's kind of how I've been using it. This is the shade that I'm trying to hit pan on as well. We have a huge dip in this, so I'm not going to go too in depth with this palette just because, again, I will have a whole update. Hopefully I can hit pan in this shade before that update so that I can completely roll this palette out. This is my Project Level Up Level 2 palette, so I need to hit 2 pans in this before I can roll it out. So hopefully I can have pan in this, but these Natasha Denona shades are so deep. It is ridiculous how deep these eyeshadow pans are. I was not expecting this. Every single day I was tapping my brush in here and I was like, please, like, it's gotta have pan sometime soon, because Oh my god, I was digging for days. But finally, we have Pan, and it was hit again on the same day as Hot Fudge. So let's move on to another shade that I hit. This again is a spoiler, and it is my It's My Pleasure palette. This palette was rolled in, I think, to Deck of Panning, or This Is Fantasy. I don't know, I get those two mixed up all the time, but I had a huge dip in this palette, and I knew that I was so close to hitting Pan on it, and of course I have. So I hit Pan on this on the 21st of June, so not too long ago at all. June was definitely like a push month. I realized I was filming this eyeshadow update, and I was like, I need to have something to talk about. So I hyper-focused in June, I got those eyeshadow pans, I made sure that I had something to talk about. So here we go. This is what this shade looks like. I'm really happy to have a pan in this palette. This shade, Pretty Cruel, was in a Pan Those Eyeshadows update quite a while ago, and can you believe I've used this shade 15 times? It barely looks used at all. There's barely a dip in it. I'm probably like a quarter of the way to pan. It is crazy. So yeah, I was definitely scared about rolling this in, but you can see I've done it. It's no problem. Here we go. That is what that shade looks like. And again, it went really, really well with the super, super warm tones in my Pan That palette, which is the Modern Renaissance palette. It's gone beautifully with my Pan That palette in order as well, with those pinky purpley tones that we're actually going to talk about right now. So also on the 21st of June, I hit pan on the shade 12 from my Pan That palette in order, which is this pinky shade here. I'll give it a swatch. There we go. That is that shade. So I am not surprised that I hit pan on these on the same day. They go together so beautifully. They were just my bread and butter, to be honest. I don't like pinks too much, but over the past month, I've definitely been working on a lot more pinky purpley shades. So I've not fallen in love. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going that far, but I've enjoyed them somewhat. I have, I can't lie. Just for something a little bit different, like this is my vibe normally, like blues, maybe not warm tones, but definitely blues. Pinks, not so much, but I have hit pan on so many pinks this month. It is crazy. I used these two together a lot, and I also used this shade a lot with them as well. So this is the final shade that I have to talk about today. I hit pan on this on the 25th of June, and this is my most recent eyeshadow pan in my collection. Here we go. This is the Bella Pierre shade 13, and I was really, really worried about this when I started to get close to this pan, just because I'm not a fan of these super warm tone purples. I really don't think they look flattering on me at all, but I used this purple shade to blend out the edges of the previous pink, and that is how I actually really, really liked it. It wasn't taking over the look at all. It wasn't center stage. It was just on the outer corner, blending a little bit, lending a helping hand, and that is how I hit pan, and that is how I've learned to like this a little bit more. I don't know what it is about warm tone purples. They're just not for me at all. But I am actually wearing both of these shades on my lower lash line today. So I have the pink on my inner lower lash line and then the purple blended on my outer lower lash line. And I think it's a really nice contrast to this look as a whole. I really like this look. It's very summery. It matches my dress again today, even if the weather has taken a little bit of a turn here in England. Who's surprised? Not me. But here we go. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 eyeshadow pans over the past 3 months. It's not been the best month in the world for eyeshadow pans, but it's not been the worst either. I can't complain too much, but I am definitely going to try and get even more eyeshadow pans for the third quarter of the year, which third quarter of the year sounds terrifying. I'm really, really scared for that, but we're gonna hold each other's hand. We're gonna get through this. So this is the end of this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, definitely like and subscribe, and I will see you tomorrow for a brand new video. Bye bye.